Hello, my name is Lowell, pronouns he, him, and we are starting a campaign of Rapscallion, which was originally an ash can from Magpie, and they did a Kickstarter and they've delivered the final version, and it's pretty striking. It's a game of fantasy pirates. I've I've played a couple sessions of it. I've talked with some of the other GMs who've been running it and stuff, so I've got some sense of how this goes. This is very fantasy pirates. For me, my touchstones in terms of this kind of genre are One Piece, particularly the live action one, which is the thing I've watched a bunch. Our Flag Means Death. There's the Pirate, which is a Korean pair of films. Of course, Pirates of the Caribbean. There's an old Tim Powers book called Stress of Her Regard, which is a fantasy pirates thing. And I will admit, the Sinbad movies, Golden Voyage of Sinbad, Sinbad in the Eye of the Tiger. Like, I love those movies. Again, sailing, not necessarily Western tropes, but monsters and things like that. So, this is a world that has some details and premises set up in it. We're going to be building a lot of the world ourselves through our character choices and the picks we're going to make in terms of factions and things like that. But there are some things that are sort of set details that are going to carry on through. First of all, there are three kinds of factions. There are the law, the forces of order and control and discipline. There's the free that are the wild folk, unfettered by rules and things like that. They may be good, they may be bad. It varies, but they are the free. And then there's the weird. And they can be a lot of different things, the weird ones. But those are going to be sort of the big three groups. There are going to be several factions for the free and the weird, and we may add more. But for the law, there is one and a half factions. Now, this takes place in a corner, sort of far northeastern corner of the world of the realm that we already played in Godbound and Mountain Home. We are at the very northern edge of the the lands that the Empire of Hours holds. Uh, the off to the far west is the Empire of Ghosts, but we're way far past the Ghost Wall here, so we're kind of in areas that are outside of that, and we're at such a far extreme of the Empire of Hours that, in fact, they have co-opted local rulers in the area to serve as their representatives. And they are called the Viceroys of Inks. They are mercantile folk. They trade in Leviathan ink. They trade in anything they can get a hold of. There are a set of them. They are viceroys appointed by the the Empire of Hours, given the letters of marque, given the trade contracts, they are East India Company and beyond here, that they operate out of there. The half that goes along with them, they have their own fleets and things like that and their own operations. The other half is the Royal Navy. This is essentially the Navy sent by the Empire of Hours that operates out of here, that obeys the Viceroys of Inks, but also have their own pirate hunting agenda. So they are in there as well. So just know that those are sort of the factions of the law. This is a game that has magic. There is the idea that we're on the sea, and the sea is entirely changeable. Alchemy is about changing things. The sea changes people. That all goes into that principle of sort of constant change and transition. The one thing that doesn't change is Leviathan ink. Leviathan ink, the blood of the Leviathan, it is stable. While all other things may change and be mutated, it will remain the same. And so it is used as a currency. It's the most expensive and important thing. You can tattoo someone with Leviathan blood ink, and it will remain as true as the day it was put on. You can write a book with Leviathan blood ink and it will never fade. Uh, the
The
Leviathan
pages may disintegrate, though.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The ink itself can be drawn out later from people's tattoos to be used as currency. And so there are people who essentially are kind of walking storage banks for their wealth in that way. People can look strange. Humans can look weird. They can be transformed by the very act of being in such a changeable environment. Again, the gods are dead, and rules are broken, and the world is strange. And certainly, the sea itself has become its own force up here. There are probably some non-humans, but they're going to be rarer than maybe in other regions, but we might have them here, and that is at our discretion. But people can be transformed. They can look squiddy. They can have strange things. You will all have an oddity, which is something that has changed in you, and that will determine some of your powers and things. Death is a being. There is a being called death. Death has an agenda. Death operates out there. If you die, maybe you make a bargain with death to come back, and death has things that he wants you to do. And
I
death can
bet
be.
they're mostly kind of charitable acts, aren't
I'm
they?
sure that yeah, that is exactly the case. Um, Death really doesn't like litter bugs. So there's that. Uh, Demons exist, but demons don't have bodies. They are out there. They do not have bodies, so they need somebody's body. They need to possess
Oh,
it. They need to use that to get what they want, and that is how things like the Montebank get their power is through trading with those things. And of course, we can add on to that other things as we want to do it. When I played, I ran a Montebank, but I had the spirit of my dead mermaid mother who was haranguing me as my sort of demon, and we kind of played around with those things. We are in a place that's called the Sea of Falling Stars, and it's because this is the place where more stars have fallen than anywhere else. Stars fall, and sometimes people can catch them, and they can swallow them, and they become the star-kissed, and they have great powers that come from that. It is a legendary source of power, but it's also a legendary source of power that can be cut out of your gut, and somebody else can take it from you. So
this world sounds a little violent.
it does sound a little violent. Lastly, books are potent. Not all of them are magical, but they can all become magical. And if a book gets too magical, it becomes a djinn. That's the
Mm.
process that goes on with that. So that's the overall concept, the world that we are playing in. How we're going to go today. First thing we're going to do is we're going to have people just tell me what playbook they're interested in or playbooks they're interested in. I want to get that a pin in that before we do anything else, just so we know what people are wanting. Then we're going to take a look at the palette. What do we want to add or ban from this? And then we're going to pick some factions. I've got a tab that is called Faction Choices, and we're going to make some picks on that. And then we'll do character creation. Then once we have those in place to think about, we'll do the character creation, and then you'll pick your ship. We'll do the ship creation, and then we'll add some things. Everybody's going to a chance to add a location to the map and a weirdness to the map. And the map is linked there as the map on the safety tab. And in the folder that is the Rapscallion folder, I have a bunch of icons. You can, follow that G Drive thing into there and pull those out and put them in and resize them and whatnot. There are three locations that I have put on the map already. And essentially one is the center of law. One will be the center of the weird, or at least a center of the weird, and one will be a center of the free, and we'll decide which was which of those. The tone. This is fantasy. This is fantasy pirates. It is pirates. You are all pirates. You're not villains. We are that kind of idealized version of that. There are bad pirates and there are good pirates. Uh, and so we keep that in mind. This is a game where the rules are a little, how do I put this? Punishing. Like this is a game in the system that resources can be tight. You can get behind the eight ball, things can go bad. So it's a little more, I would say, perhaps wearing and potentially doom spirally than some of the other games that we've played. But we're going to play around with that. There are some mechanics for that. I've talked with some of the other GMs about that. When we get to character creation, I'll talk about a couple of the resources that are really important, how those are used. There are a lot of things in this game that you're like, okay, well, I know how that works. Oh, no, you don't. Bonds don't work the way you think they do. There's a thing called the ante, which is not a singular. There are a number of things. Some of the tags are misnomers. So there are some of the things there. Uh, but it is swashbuckling. We've got all kinds of cool playbooks. We are going to lean into that and get us out on the high seas. There are rules for ship combats and fighting giant monsters and all of that kind of things. I guess the other touchstone I want to point to is, and this is a real obscure one, Games Workshop's Man of War, which was a fantasy uh, like ship skirmish game that I loved and is very much always in my head. Now, all of that having been said, we have played all together many times. But we are using a layered set of safety tools. I've got a list for lines and veils. I deliberately wanted to kind of start from blank. I put my couple of things on there. Please look through, add anything that you definitely want to have as a line or a veil for this on there. Of course, we will be also using the X card as we've used it before to mark anything objectionable, to mark anything problematic, to mark anything that's wildly off tone, kind of doesn't fit with what we're doing here, or maybe we started to head towards something that's a line or a veil and we haven't caught it. And as always, for me, it's important that we can use the X card as a time to recalibrate in case we've kind of gotten off track and we need to come back and do that. In the same way that you might use another tool like script change or so on to kind of recenter and do that. And again, I always say this, I know you all know this. If you invoke a safety tool, you are not required to explain why you've used that safety tool, but you are welcome to. It is up to you on you to do that, but you'll never be pressed to do that. And of course, this is a game with open table, in the sense that, or open door, I guess I want to say, in the sense that if you don't feel well, don't come. If you need to drop because you're not feeling well, if something happens, if you hear the dog eating pens in the other room or whatever, then feel free to run off. And it'd be great if you could tell us that you're going to be back, but you don't have to do that. Lastly, sort of as the add-on thing, I know you've all have seen this, there is a romance options matrix for what you're interested in terms of romantic interrelationships with NPCs, with PCs, all of that kind of thing. I'll also point out that I have made a Pinterest board, and there are a lot of pirate images out there. I tried to keep because I was talking over Pinterest, so inevitably I will have through the netting, there will be some AI images in there just because when you cast the net, eventually you get some before you kind of notice. So there are some in there, but there are some great ones as well. I tried to go for a lot of different ethnicities in our board there, and there are some fantasy folk that are in there as well. There are also some duplicates because I went down the rabbit hole a couple of nights building that board. So that is there. All right. So, with all of that being said, what I would like to ask now is if people have looked at the playbooks, had a chance to examine them, or if you have any questions about them, I'm going to come around and you can say to me, I know what I want to play, or here I'm down to these couple of things, or these two or three things, or I want to know more about this and what it means in play. Tyler, we start with you.
I We'll say I am often the captain. I am more than happy if someone would like to be captain. I do have that on my list, though. Captain, the surgeon, and the navigator are my three I've looked at and find interesting.
Well, let's get this out of the way. Patrick, Ethan, do either of you want to be the captain? Because I know Sherry does not. No? Tyler, would you be our captain?
I will take all of that responsibility.
Okay. All right. Uh, Sherry, what are you thinking of?
I love the navigator. I have a great idea for that one, and I have a crazy picture for the search. So
Okay.
those are my two. I probably have a stronger sense of my navigator than I would of my searcher.
Okay. Ethan, questions or thoughts about which ones you're interested in?
Um, None of them are particularly jumping out at me. I could do shipwreck, navigator, maybe gunslinger, surgeon. Um,
One of the
I
things to
don't
look
particularly
at.
want to be the swashbuckler. That's
Okay. Okay.
about it.
That's fair. I think that's actually fair. One of the things to look at is if you go down to where it says your oddity, that's a good way to kind of look at what things,
Okay,
because each one
that's a good.
has
Yeah.
like three directions that they could go in.
Okay.
The only thing I'll say is you may not be the monkey if you are the shiprat. I think I established that already. I do
No
not
monkeys
want
allowed. Okay.
no monkeys. I
Okay.
I think I already said that. I
I
I,
I
I
did
have
not hear that if you did, but I hadn't planned on it. But but it's good to know.
I think I said that before. I have some very bad memories of that from
Cool.
a previous game. So that is a little bit of an X card for me. Patrick, besides the monkey shiprat, what are you thinking of?
You're lucky that playbook isn't in my top list. You have words. There's a monkey person here in your Pinterest board. Anyways, to be perfectly honest, most of the playbooks seem really cool to me.
Okay.
But I had narrowed it down to the gunslinger, the swashbuckler, and because it's everybody's favorite, apparently, the navigator.
Got that built-in ox.
I'm surprised nobody's been tempted by the chronicler. They seem just so wild and interesting.
I'm so tempted by the Chronicle. No, there's so many playbooks I want to play.
Okay.
That is one of the ones I was thinking about.
Well, we've all this is enough for us to have some sense of that. Uh, we'll come back and make those final choices. We know who the captain is, and we kind of know some of the directions, so you can have a chance to look at these. The choices that we make in the next section may also affect what we do here.
And I
So,
wanted to say one thing real quick, just
yeah.
because my idea for the gunslinger and the swashbuckler is sort of like different versions of the same idea. But reading through it, the gunslinger sort of struck me as one of the like darker, more tragic, more violent
Oh,
playbooks.
yes.
So I'm sort of like I want to see where our tone for the game is, and if that's something that would fit, or if I should go the other direction, which is sort of the swashbuckler.
I think that is fair to do. Uh, let's go. We're going to go a bunch of tabs over from that. Doop, 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 down to faction choices, because this is also where the palette is at. So we have three rows that have our faction choices here. And you can see there is the Viceroys of Inks, the ruthless banking compact composed of three competing merchant prince families given charter over this area by the Empire of Ours. They operate Leviathan Blood ink banks exchanges with a cold-blooded capitalist efficiency and enthusiastic corporate greed. So that is our main foe of law. And then the Royal Navy, which is the ironclads, the right hand of the law, and they are the ones that enact the will of law. And they have their own bloody, violent prejudices. while they serve the interests of the sharks, which is what the viceroys are also called, they also have their own corrupt interests that they serve. So what I want to do is ask folks if there's anything they are more interested in seeing that we might not normally have in this kind of game, or things that might be in this kind of game that you're less interested in seeing, or things you want to flag out here as we kind of start out. Uh, Tyler, I am going to start with you. Is there anything that you can think of that like is very much on your agenda or very much like less interested in?
I think exploration is something I'm pretty interested in.
Okay.
I want to see the cool places and all the oddities that are out here.
Okay. Sherry, is there anything that you are more interested or less interested in?
Like I like the idea that there are fabled areas of the sea that come and go, and like to find them is a chance to reap great treasures, or by contest or by cleverness, or by luck, during those things. And
Okay.
essentially it's about finding word of them and figuring out what the keys are to get them to appear, as much as anything. Not just the sailing, but also the being being right, so that they will give you access to
Okay.
whatever it is.
Absolutely. Come and go rituals and contests. Okay. Ethan, anything for you?
Um, kind of two things, two
Sure.
completely unrelated things.
Fair enough.
Uh, not sure how to like almost personification of elements, like not necessarily sentient gods, but like the wind can hold a grudge against you, that kind of thing.
Okay. So beyond the sea as sort of a personified creature, there are other things, great
Right,
spirits that are personification. Okay.
right. Uh, and the other thing is like the ship as sort of a I guess like recurring NPCs and stuff like on
Okay.
on the ship, like
Oh
the
yeah,
ship as like
absolutely.
a
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a town almost, or a,
Ship as town. Yeah. I think that is definitely an element built into this. Uh,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Patrick.
Um, so I don't think they're sort of weird to it, but just like elements that I know are in the game that I'd love to lean into. One is Leviathans, big, weird, scary, freaky monster things, sea monster things, and specifically like just to like give a shape to it. I also really like stories of people living inside like the corpses or remains
Okay.
of impossibly giant things. Whether they're just living there, whether they're mining it, or whatever's going on. I just think that's cool.
Absolutely.
Um, and then I know death as a personification is part of the setting, but I do like pirate stories that have to do with like the dead and the undead and hauntings and that sort of vibe.
Okay.
Yeah,
Tyler.
I love living and living Leviathans too. That's cool.
Okay. AKA Pinocchio. Uh, Tyler, anything else you want to add to the more interested and less interested?
Um, I I don't know whether this is I want or I don't want. I want complex motivations for care. I don't want just he's simply evil. I like I like motivations that are complex.
Okay. The less interested in he's just evil NPCs. So we'll put that in
Right.
the less interested so I can finally have one on that side of the thing. So yes,
There we go.
absolutely. Sherry,
Yes. Oh, more things I want.
want or don't want? And if fair
uh
to say I pass.
okay. let's see here. I think I I like the idea of that in some ways are, we're that the ship is its crew and that finding new people is a thing too. Like sometimes you're looking for folks with different abilities that
Okay.
will strengthen the crew or make it more delightful to be on the ship.
Ship is town, assembling cast kind of thing.
Exactly.
Ethan?
Um, don't think I have anything to add that hasn't already been on there.
Okay. Patrick? You're muted.
Too many mutes. On the less interested, I know this is a world of empires, but I don't want to get into a situation where we're in like this completely dominated area. I like the idea of all these powers have their centers or their like points of power, but it's all these competing things going on in this very chaotic sort of ocean.
Okay. Yes. The viceroys have a great deal of power, but you know, they do not command the oceans. I think that that's fair. Especially with the differing agendas. Tyler?
I think I'm good.
Okay. Anybody else have anything else they want to add? Okay. So each of you is going to get to pick a faction. So here's going to be my first question to you. Patrick, when we come around to pick, do you want to pick one of the weird factions or one of the free factions?
I mean, yeah, one of the weird factions.
Okay. Ethan, do you want to pick one of the weird factions or one of the free factions?
Oh,
I'm going to go through and explain what each of them are in a moment.
okay. Look at these. Weird.
Okay. So, Kyler, Sherry, you are going to pick the two free factions. Okay.
All right.
So here are the possibilities. I have six of these. You each going to pick one, and then I'm going to pick one. Some of these are from the book, and some of these are mine. The Pirate Lords, the seven Pirate Lords. These are the seven most powerful pirates on the Sea of Falling Stars. According to legend, each of them owns a mysterious piece of eight that grants them strange powers, legitimizes their power, and is hereditary, so it passes down. The Rat Legion. This is a loose coalition of thousands of pirate crews who brand themselves the mark of the rat to claim their membership with and allegiance to this band of ostensible allies. It spits in the face of all masters. So they are anarchist pirates of the highest stripe. The mechanism. This is a clan of dwarven exiles whose numbers have grown. They trade in gear, technology, weapons, and artifice. They brook no restrictions on study or craft. And they have giant mechanical ships that they are in. The Oath of the Rose. This is also known as the Petaled Blade. These are assassins for hire, but also willing to undertake killings without a contract if it will benefit them. They have a strong artistic and aesthetic flair, which I believe makes them above other killers. Many claim blood to the lost Sea Fae Empire sunk by the Starfall. So one of the other things is this ocean did not used to be an ocean in the days when the gods were around. There was a starfall and it sunk everything that was here. And so there are cities and empires buried beneath the waves down below,
Ooh.
including the sea fae that were swallowed by all of that. The next is the keysmiths. There are pirates on the ocean, but there are also thieves. The keysmiths are the surviving thieves guild, having killed off or sold out all or most of their rivals. They have agents in every port, and while they espouse freedom, they want it under their rule. They want a little bit of control. And then lastly, the God Whalers. These are Hell's huntsmen. Some make an enterprise of hunting leviathans for their ink, but that is only a fraction of the God Whalers' quarry. They seek out and map the locations of any of all fearsome beasts, potent spirits, and deadly monsters on land or sea. Anything they deem worthy and monstrous can become their target. Tyler.
The Seven Pirate
Seven
Lords.
pirate lords. Okay.
I love them so.
And then Sherry,
The mechanism.
the mechanism. Okay. So let's see. Oh gosh.
And they're all good, though.
They're all good.
You could just roll a die and you'll be fine.
I think I want the God Whalers.
I kind of am glad you chose that one.
So
That was the
I'm
one that was making me hurt when I couldn't choose it.
So I will come back and rearrange these and get those narrowed down and marked out here in a moment. But the other ones may appear. We may have them as NPC stuff. If you want to bring them in for things, you can certainly do that. But that are our seven pirate lords, the mechanism, the dwarves, and the monster hunter god whalers. All right, Patrick. And Ethan, let me tell you about these. The Witches of Osgrim, aka the Coven of Ash, Death's Fingers, a coven of masked veiled sea witches who work for death itself. They hunt those who bear the black mark and other things that escape death's hands. Ghosts, ghouls, even demons. They like the thing they serve. They are quiet and inevitable. Virgil's army, aka the Pale Fleet. Anyone who wields the black trident called the Fingerbone can command Virgil's army, an enormous legion of ghosts. But such a cruel and cursed weapon has never accepted a wielder for long. All previous commanders of Virgil's armies have met unfortunate and untimely deaths. Greykin's Claws, a fleet of lycanthropes, skin changers, and shifters who prowl the waters looking for treasure but also expand their numbers. Only a few, blessed or cursed, can be made into one of them. On the nights of the full moon, their very ships transform into feral hunters on the waters of the sea. The Tattooed Page, aka the Secret Keepers, a secretive order who works with variant Leviathan ink tattoos to gain powers and curse subjects, said to have a refuge in the Great Whirlpool. They work to hide their real purpose and origins, taking every opportunity to falsify existing text and plant fake tomes. The chitinous brand, aka the beetleman, they serve the great ochre crab and all its crustacean and insect subjects, said to have gained powers by binding with and consuming such creatures. They lose their humanity over time, becoming one with their master. They hate the kraken for reasons they have not shared. And lastly, the storm hulks, aka tempest chasers. Some say there's only one, some three, some more, but where there's a furious storm or typhoon, a massive storm hulk ship comes in its wake. Its jade and silver laced decking rippling with lightning. Some say they seek to catch a fraction of the storm's power. Others say they seek out those killed by such events to drink their departing souls. Patrick.
So I get to choose the first three,
You get to
right?
pick one.
Rude. They're all super cool. But two of my three character concepts hinge on the Witches of Osgrim. So,
Okay,
Witches of
so
Osgrim.
witches it is. So we've got pirate lords, mechanism, god whalers. Ethan, what would you like as the second?
Oh man. Chitinous brand is cool, but I think I'm gonna have to go with the Stormhawks.
Stormhawks.
Yep.
Nice.
Uh and just because hot werewolf boys are always good, we will go with the Greykins claws.
Sea werewolves. I love that with the Leviathan hunters and the Stormhawks, like we have the monster chasers, we have the storm chasers, just all the idiots are out here.
Oh, absolutely. They are all in their own delightfully SIBO himbo
Obsessed. Yeah.
way. Uh, all right. So that gives us our factions. It gives us our palette. Tyler, I know you're going to do the captain. Sherry, you mentioned the surgeon and the navigator.
Mhm.
Which of those do you want to do?
Would like to deal with the navigator, I think.
Okay. So we have the captain, we have the navigator. Ethan, what would you like to do?
Um,
Or you can also defer till Patrick
now that we've
chooses.
seen stuff. Yeah, go ahead, Patrick.
I'm not going to help you, I don't think. I don't know if this is the game for the gunslinger, so I'm going to go with the swashbuckler.
Okay. So captain, swashbuckler, navigator, Ethan.
Um, trying to decide between chronicler and shipwreck. Which fits the flavor of the game more? Probably chronicler.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to close up these other ones. Rich did a lovely job of setting the format for this up. I want to mention that this is a combination of him and Alan's character keeper here. And Rich got all of the things. Oh, I closed up the navigator, didn't I?
Mhm.
There, there we go. That and that.
This is a game where all the playbooks are really phenomenal.
Yeah. So let me tell you how this character creation is going to work. So the first thing that you're going to decide is your oddity. You can grab onto that drop down, pull it down, and look at each of those. Uh, it will also tell you what your stats are. Your stats vary depending on which oddity you choose, and they will automatically populate there. You will get to add another +1 to one of those. I will have to do that for you in the data because it's not kind of set up that way in here because Rich didn't realize until afterwards that you did that. Uh, blood is liquid courage. Use blood when you face danger, make trouble, act daring. Vinegar is cunning. Fight dirty, outsmart your enemies and do things you shouldn't. Polish is the ability to talk your way in and out of trouble. And Spitfire is essentially luck. And you use Spitfire to manipulate face. It is the magical stat. And I want to mention this. Your Spitfire is how much luck you have. Luck is a very useful resource in this game. I will recommend, because the way this game works, you will reset back up to your starting luck at the I think it's at the beginning session or maybe at the end of a chapter. You'll have a chance when we do end of like XP thing, you can add some temporary luck, but I do recommend like getting your luck to a positive number if you can. Uh, uh,
So is luck not based on your playbook?
so no, it is not based on your playbook. It is based on your Spitfire.
Huh.
Your Spitfire determines what your luck is. Uh,
Why do
however,
some playbooks have more luck
because
then?
some playbooks can store up more luck than other ones. Because you can pick luck at the end of a session, so you could store up a whole bunch of luck. And there are a couple of other ways to get luck in the thing. So basically, that's your maximum luck.
Gotcha. And
Yeah.
Spitfire is what, like a starting or a reset luck?
Yep.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you.
So what you're going to do is you're going to pick that oddity, and then you're going to choose a kit for your belongings. You will also notice that wield is misspelled in every place it
Everywhere.
can be.
Oh,
So I didn't go through and fix that. But when you do belongings, you'll pick a kit and it will kind of auto-populate some stuff there. That's your second choice. And then you will either have one or two playbooks moves to pick. If you have a thing that says at start choose, then you'll get to pick two of them. Uh, Otherwise, you will be picking one of them. which is like your first advancement move. So the captain, you're going to be picking 2 moves. Swashbuckler, you're going to be picking 1. Navigator, you're going to be picking 2. Chronicler, you're going to be picking 2.
Picking 2 what?
2
Sorry.
moves from your playbook moves.
Oh, okay, cool.
That's a third thing you need to pick. So I'm going to let you play around with those drop downs. I'm going to pause the recording at this point. So, our captain.
I am Captain Humayan Holtz. I am the a former. I chose the Void Prince as my oddity. I was once a great pirate lord. I'll need to name a friend and a rival. I'll give a weakness and I'll gain a bond with each of them. I have a secret buried treasure, 1 hoard. I'll be marking that on the map. And when I see beautiful treasure, I'm compelled to take it for myself, as is fitting as my place as captain, of course. And I have a 0 blood, a 1 vinegar, a 1 polish, and a 0 spitfire. I am very much looking forward to increasing those stats because I have the ability of command, which is when I lead a group of my crewmates to accomplish basic moves, I can roll with polish instead of its original trait. As long as I have barks on my unrest track, which I have an unrest track we'll be keeping up with, any involved PC or any wild NPC, wild being a tag, can choose to sabotage this move before I roll it, which would just be nasty, and that gives me a -1 forward. If a PC chooses to do so, they mark luck equal to the marks on my unrest track and gain my ire. If you roll a miss, I'll mark obsessed in addition to any other effect. If I'm already obsessed, I'll mark another one on my unrest track. I have taken the kit of I have an ornate dagger, fancy noble clothes, a signet ring, an heirloom, or it was stolen, marking me as high nobility. Parchment, several bottles of ink, and sealing wax. A few land deeds, perhaps real, and a hoard of treasure. I am quite wealthy.
Yes. So
Um,
that is a hoard that you have on the ship, and you have another hoard that is buried.
Somewhere a treasure. And I picked up Mastermind. When you encounter an obstacle while leading my crew, I can spend a bond with an involved crewmate to explain how I planned for this beforehand and twist fate as though I'd spent 2 luck.
Excellent. Excellent. All right, so that gives us that. Let's come to actually, Tyler, uh everybody should end up with 3 moves at the start. If you got, I believe, am I wrong on that, Patrick? Let me check and see.
Some of the playbooks have 1 move and say choose 1 more, and then some of them just have 2 moves and don't say anything.
Oh, okay, yeah. So it is 2 moves. I apologize. I got that mixed up. So yeah, you are perfect, Tyler,
Yeah,
as always.
thank you.
Uh,
Thank you.
let us
Oh, I do
come.
need that. Oh, never mind.
Oh,
Sorry.
yes.
Yes, I'm done. Nope, I was wrong.
Nope. All right. Let us come to our swashbuckler.
Let's see.
Patrick, you've
I
fallen back into your old ways. You don't have a name yet.
I don't have a name. I've been so busy trying to find good pictures. The
That fair enough.
name is not there yet, but I have found some good pictures. I'll put up in a few minutes.
So
Um,
swashbuckler.
we'll circle back to name.
Okay.
For my oddity, I went with Smitten. You're courting death, the person, romantically, I suppose. Um, and you're very good at it. Gain a bond with them as a lover. Whenever you witness their enormous influence or magic power, mark impassioned. And I get a +1 to parlay or hoodwink anyone who likes my pretty face.
That's a pretty good generous oddity there, I will say. That's
Yeah.
nice.
Um, to my belongings, I have a ludicrously fancy cloak, a musical instrument, a collection of letters from old flames, pressed flowers, tawdry jewelry, a makeup kit, a small book of poetry written by a chronicler (parentheses dangerous),
Dangerous.
the most dangerous poetry, and two treasure.
Okay.
Uh, I can wield any closer reach weapons. I possess a weapon with, I'll figure out. Um,
Yes, there are a number. There is a list of those weapon tags on the page with the tags on them, so you can choose that later.
cool. Do they have game effects or are they
Yes,
just
they do.
okay, cool. I'll look at that
There are
specifically
a
then.
couple of them that require you to spend a bond with your opponent, and because you can get the ante, you can spend that as a bond. That's how that kind of works.
Gotcha. So my playbook moves are theatrics. When I enter a fight, I can roll polish to gain hold, and then I spend hold to mark off feats from a list of ridiculous swashbuckling acrobatic feats, and I can't repeat any of them until I've done all of them,
Huh.
just to be, interesting. And then connections, whenever you gain a bond with someone, you can choose to make them one of your connections, decide whether they are now a comrade, a rival, or a lover, and write it down next to their name. And then I can spend bonds in different ways with comrades, rivals, and lovers.
Very nice
And
move.
I go into my impassioned anytime I use one of those.
Okay, well, maybe not so nice a move.
Um,
Compassion lets me compel you to do foolish things.
as far as look, he has like intricate eye makeup that he is always in. It's sort of gothy deathy. And he has a gleaming and glittering golden skeleton sword arm from the shoulder down. It is just bones, but they're bright gold. And he usually wears a glove, I suppose.
Excellent. Excellent. Uh, our navigator. You are muted.
Yes. So my navigator is named, well, it's the ship's groom, Cass. Typically that signifies that he is considered married to the figurehead, to the masthead, or essentially the figure at the front. This one on this ship is a figurehead that has the same tattoos that Cass has. It looks very lifelike. So that's the theory. Everyone thinks that it's sort of a just a ritual, that because he's the navigator and that just happens. But in fact, his soul is promised to the sea, and he and the mermaid do in fact love each other, and he will not be able to be with her until he dies. And he's taken by the sea. So that is so. One of the things is that they look a lot alike. Does commune with the figurehead a great deal. Essentially that is a thing a place that you will see him. So his um,
Your oddity.
yeah, my oddity is the seas. So it means that I possess a sealskin coat that, when clasped, lets me turn into an aquatic mammal of my choice. I think a porpoise is nice and quick,
Okay.
and people will interact with it and not try to stab it a little bit more often than not. So I think that seems like a good thing because I don't think of him as being much of a fighter.
Okay.
And then while he's turned, he can take +1 to vinegar and spitfire, but he's wild and either easily distractible or easily fooled. I'm guessing as a purpose, probably easily distracted.
Okay.
I'm compelled to do what my animal self wants. And then I can just take off the cloak to turn back.
Okay.
But it does allow me movement in water and that sort of thing. My kit is very standard, but the important parts of it, I took the one that actually gave me the best navigational tools. So I get the astrolabe, the compass, and the sextant. and a long spyglass. So that was pretty good kit. And then I have a satchel full of sea charts, mark 2 places where there are leviathans. A forger kit with an asterisk next to it. I don't know what I would use it for, but it sounds lovely. And then also a half completed map of the far reaches. So there's some kind of good little story bits and reasons that I can do a thing. Otherwise, my dagger is rusty and in poor condition. You shouldn't count on Ship's Groom cast to do much fighting. Let's put it that way. And then
And
the whole,
then what are your
yes.
2 moves? Your starting move, and then which one did you pick?
Oh, I can only pick one. Okay,
Yep.
so that's good. Okay, that's no problem. Because I picked the one I wanted. So shepherd, when you shepherd your ship through danger, roll vinegar. On a hit, you spend 1 bond with your ship during the scene to use one of the following effects. On a 10 plus, the effect is extraordinary, allowing things that would normally be impossible, such as the wind lifts the ship off the sea for a moment, the waves fling your ship forward at great speed, this ship carries your sea to nearby shore regardless of its wreck. A convenient hazardous obstacle just below the waves, the sea and winds turn against your enemies at a crucial moment. On a miss, the sea turns against you instead. So that's great. And you always mark hunted instead of rolling to use any one of those effects during a scene. Or I can always mark hunted instead of rolling to use any one of these effects during the scene. And then I also took Bosun's Blessing. When I twist fate while steering my ship, I can spend the bond to my ship for 1 instead of luck. If I do, I can choose one of the following things. I spot something hidden just beneath the waves. What is it and how could it aid you? You notice a way to take cover and lose pursuers. What is it and how do you take advantage? The weather turns against your enemies. What happens and how does it mess them up? At any time, you may mark hunted to act as if you've spent 2 luck on twisting your fate and pick one of the above options. So it really wants me to be hunted.
Yes.
Um,
Everyone has a
so
vice, and that is yours.
that is mine, is that if I want to help, I just do that thing. Yeah, so that's kind of it.
Okay. Excellent. And then our chronicler.
Yep. So I'm playing Vern Causey, he, him, an expert in sea creatures, and I picked demons, but that is open. I wasn't sure like what would make the most sense for the setting and ship. So I
Feel free to like hold off and set those as you want to.
okay. Where was I? Yeah, he has uh the kit kind of um there was one kit that was like the standard things that a scholar might have. I picked another one.
Okay.
A dagger in a hidden sheath, a dark broad-rimmed hat and cloak, a forgery kit, a stolen book of great power. Yeah, there's he might not have been a scholar all his life. He is now. He actually, is sincere about it, but that's not the only thing he's ever done with his life.
Excellent. And the moves.
Yeah, yeah. So where am
Your
I?
wordsmith move is wordy.
It is, yeah. uh yeah, basically, when you decide to write a book, it gives you like a quest that you must finish before you finish it. Yeah. And then there's a lot here. Okay.
Yeah, basically you can create a magic spell
Yes.
by making a quest.
Yeah. uh yes. Um and Lore Keeper. When I encounter a new land, creature, or phenomenon, I can spend 1 luck to learn the story that I've heard about it. Always good. Um, Also, there was one other thing in here, buried in here somewhere. Um, I can create gin via books, and oh, there was something. Maybe there wasn't.
We'll
The thing I write is histories, and I can add two secret mythic things to the map that I've studied. There we go.
okay. We'll come back to that
There's a
question.
lot in these playbooks.
Yes.
They're short.
Uh,
They're compressed into a small space, but there's a lot there.
so we do have those questions, the things we're going to deal with in a
Yes.
moment. Some of those are going to be requiring us to mark the map. We'll come back to that. But before we do that, we have to decide on our ship because this will shape the kind of experience that we have. So we have 3 ships to choose from, and I go to the ship tab. There is the Jewel, one of the finest vessels in the ocean. Too bad it's not technically yours. You'll pay for that. You want to pick this, and it says Starship, but that's because I forgot to. I thought I'd rearranged everything from where Rich had written this in. But uh, basically, if you want to be rascally devils on the run from the original owner, if you do this, expect to have immediate enemies whose pursuit will help define your story. Don't pick this ship if you dislike looming threats or you want a slower introduction to the world. The Jewel starts in danger and never lets up. There is the Legend. This famous pirate ship has a long history and powerful reputation. Now it's yours, and you have a long legacy to chase. Pick the ship if you want to be dashing, important, and established. Expect to have the eyes of law and the free alike trained on you from the get-go. You're set up to be the most famous pirates out there. Don't pick the ship if you want to earn your reputation from the ground up. And lastly, the Ramshackle, a home crafted vessel tied together with spit in a prayer. It may not look like much, but it carries the heart of its loyal crew. Pick this ship if you want to tell a real underdog story, forge a found family, fight to make a name for yourselves. Expect to run between with your tails between your legs and struggle a bit. And having played that one, they are not kidding. So, Tyler, you get to nominate which one you want, and then we'll poll the table.
I prefer the Legend.
Thoughts on that, Navigator?
Yes, I'm part of the reason it's a legend.
Okay. Patrick.
I'm good with that one or the Jewels, so for leaning Legend, that's fine.
Okay. Ethan, are you good with the Legend?
Yep, that's the one I would have picked too.
Okay. Excellent. I will close the other. We will answer some questions about that in a bit, but let's go back. Now that we know we're on a legendary ship, we know something there. Let's come back to our crew and let's come to those questions that we have for you. These will determine some of your bonds and will tell us something about you there. Some of it's going to be marking the map, so we'll put a pin in any map marking. So, Captain, uh, you obsess over your ambition. What
I
is
do.
that ambition?
To become a pirate lord.
Okay. So you were a pirate lord and to return to become a pirate lord again. What do you have a sense of why you fell from being a pirate lord?
Um, yes. I, to my mind, I was a bit too lax with my crew. But in truth, I think luck turned against me. I think I had built up not just the ship, but a little flotilla and a series of misadventures. Saw ships peel off, saw crew turn against me, and in the end, I found I had only one ship and very little crew left.
Excellent. In addition to your kit, you have a mysterious old map, claimed to lead to great riches. when we come to the map phase, you're going to put an X on that as in addition to where your horde is possibly.
Mhm.
How did you get this map?
Um, this was passed down to me from the pirate lord that I inherited my title from.
Okay.
He had been a mentor. I had trusted and liked him, and he was killed in the line of duty when I took over. It was, I had been designated as next. I took over when he died.
And you got his doubloon, and then when you fell, someone else has your doubloon now. Yeah, your piece of
Yes.
eight. That is there. Well, that'll be a thing that we have to uh, decide there. Uh, uh, we'll have you figure out your friend and your rival. I'm assuming your rival is going to be the person who cast you down. Okay.
That's my thought, yeah.
Yeah. Uh, so this is your last remaining ship. This is it. How did you obtain it? What did it cost you?
Um, this wasn't even the flagship. My crew had turned on me on the flagship, and I had been on a much smaller ship with what loyal crew I had left. And it had uh I had known of our legend of this legendary ship. I had heard of it, that it was said to be sailing the seas unmanned, waiting for someone. And the way I think I did it, if this works with you, I coughed up my doubloon to find the location of this ship.
Traded it off. I like it. I like it. Uh, uh, we're going to come back on those bond questions once everybody's introduced themselves here. And I think that will be one of the questions we have is whether your navigator was on board that ship when you got there or you brought them with you. We'll let them decide that. Uh, how am I saying that, Patrick?
Nonius.
Nonius. Nonius. So Nonius, you possess a signature weapon. Where'd you receive it, and what's the strange magical quality that it possesses?
Um, so I got it from the same place that I got the arm, honestly. I trained with it for a long time. I was the guardian, the companion of one of the witches of Osgrim. And so it is a sword that is it's linked to death and is haunted by spirits.
All right. Do all the guardians of the witches have that same skeletal arm, or is that a unique thing for you, or do they all have different signature things, or is it just really a weird thing that you got from them?
The arm is a personal thing.
Okay.
Um, so my second part is I have a sordid history with someone important from a faction. Who is it? What's the terrible secret they'd kill to protect? So like I said, I was the guardian, the companion, the physical element to their magical element of one of the witches of Osgrim. I grew up uh, with her. We had been paired from a young age, and I had worked with her all through her training and mine. Um, and shortly after she had, ascended, taken her place in a coven, become a full part of the sisterhood. One of the leaders of the faction uh, basically sacrificed her for a political move. Lied about what was going on, sent us into a death trap. And it killed us. We didn't make it through. I was on the verge of death. She died, and I think it was her like spirit witchy crossing over deathness, where she sealed up the wound I was bleeding out from. My arm had been cut off, formed this golden arm for me instead, and touched my sword, which is where it's got its connection to death. And I think when I see death, it's in her form.
Okay. So this is where you met your lover, Death. Uh, we have a couple of different bond questions that are next, so we'll hold on to those until we get everybody introduced. Uh, our navigator, your
Yes.
powers are also a curse.
Yes.
Tell us what it is that
So, essentially, um, because how to say this, our powers are also a curse. So that's actually, it says it somewhere of what I'm supposed to say, right?
yeah. So
Yeah, the sea. Okay.
so
Yeah, here it
you
is. I courted the seas, which love me all consumingly. It most correctly, uh, uh, I was the figurehead of the ship. And the whole thing was I was made as beautiful as possible so that some thing of power would behold me and choose me. And that choice was the mermaid that you now see as a figurehead. I took her from the sea, and because of this, I belong to the sea. But I love that mermaid, and that mermaid loves me. So when I die, um, if I am fortunate, if I never lie, I will see her again.
okay. And were you aboard the ship when the captain found it?
Yes, the captain, well, the doubloon called me. Piece of eight called me.
Okay. And your seas curse dictate that you
I cannot lie. I
okay.
must never speak lies because that was the question she asked when I told her that I loved her. And I said I would never lie to you. And it's the same as saying it to the seas. And because we are on the seas, it is the same as I may never tell the truth because I do not know if the seas is me.
Okay.
And I can never tell the
This
lie.
yeah. The ship is your greatest treasure. What is a secret about the ship that only you know?
Um, that it's um main staff, the mizzen is what is it called? The main mast.
Mizzen mast?
Yeah, the mizzen mast is a leviathan bone. That actually has sympathy with other leviathan. And
Oh,
it is how I can find them.
all right then. We'll come back to your bond questions
All
in a
right.
moment. Uh, so, Ethan, Vern's questions.
Yep. So in addition to my kit, I have a magnum opus, only half written. Completing it will take a great deal of power. What do you need to finish it? And what will it do when it's done? I think this is a field guide to like some kind of sea creatures. And it will communication with them when it's done.
Okay.
Uh, I
Yeah.
need to like actually observe several of them and and draw them and add them to the book because I've never seen them. I know they exist. I kind of know what they are, but
Gathered all the lore about them, but never seen
Absolutely.
them.
Volo's Guide to Sea Monsters. I like
Yeah.
it.
yep.
You often flee into a world of words. Why or what do you wish to escape?
Uh, Guilt.
Ooh, guilt for what?
That is a good question.
Okay.
I assume it is the same reason I am no longer whatever job I had before. Um,
Okay.
Something went
Well,
very wrong, and I haven't decided what.
do you think you were maybe amongst the thieves or the or Oath of the Rose or something like that?
Um, Actually, let me look at these factions here.
Or even the God Whalers?
I mean, the God Whalers would make sense as with the thing I'm an expert in. Um, no, let's say the thieves. I used
Okay.
to, yeah, I used to be a thief.
All right.
Um,
So you used to
Something
be
went very,
amongst
very
the
wrong.
Keat Smiths and something went wrong. Okay.
Yep.
That makes sense. Uh Tyler, uh now these can be PCs or NPCs. Normally they're PCs, but you've got some questions there. Who is your your trusted first mate?
All right. My trusted first mate is uh Nonius.
Okay. Nonius is your trusted first mate. You gain a bond with them. And whose antics uh, there get in the way of your ambitions.
Vern.
All right. And what crew member always undermines your authority?
Oh, Cass.
How do they undermine your authority, do you think?
They think they know my ship better than I do.
And I always tell the truth.
I think that's very, Ethan, does that work for you? And Patrick?
Hmm.
Okay. Uh, Patrick, who is your very best friend today? Someone you'd kill or die for?
Hmm.
And again, these can be PCs or NPCs.
Okay. I'm just the I don't know if it's exactly best friend in the like best buddy friend sort of way. But I would kill or die for Captain Humayun. I think he's sort of taken that place of the person that I've sworn myself to. I have to have a purpose to my life, and
Hmm.
he is filling that.
And who is your equal in a fight and makes you long to duel them again?
Uh, can we say whatever coven leader betrayed me? She has a
Absolutely.
sword arm as well,
Yeah.
and
Give them a
it's
name and take a rival bond with them. Who caught feelings for you and it's making them act stupid?
uh I wonder, can we have like an apprentice and assistant navigator? someone that you're watching over, Sherry?
Interesting. Certainly. I think that makes sense that there's like someone in the crew who wants to do that. I'm confused by why they wouldn't just go through the ritual like I have, but I show them how to use the
Sacrifice themselves to the sea.
exactly.
It's
So I'm
fine. You
doing
barely
it
even notice.
anyway. We're all going to end up there.
Okay.
But yeah, certainly.
Perhaps someone that the captain brought with them, thinking they'd
Yes.
need a navigator, and does that sound good? Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll have you give them a name, Patrick, and you'll take a bond with them. And of course, you have to find a picture and all of that. Put that in the
Oh,
PC tab.
terrible.
God, twice. Ugh.
Uh, so you begin with 2 bonds to your ship navigator.
That makes sense to me.
Navigator. I don't know why I said that.
Navigator. And what was
Navigator.
our ship's name again?
We've not decided yet.
Oh, oh, right, ship. But that
Okay.
makes me sad.
Uh,
Okay, and I take 2 current
2
bonds.
bonds.
2 bonds.
And you will always reset to that 2.
All right.
And you have a bond with a crewmate. Which crewmate do you have a bond with?
Oh, I think maybe the chronicler, because they are doing something about sea creatures, and I do have that porpoise skin, and I've seen them a lot. I mean, I have a very like sea. I mean, that's all I see is the sea. Does that
Okay.
make any sense?
Absolutely.
So these are the things I like to learn more about them, but also I've seen a lot of things. So I think we talk about these things and like what the words are for them. Sometimes I I know things, but sometimes I just have seen things, but I don't have the words for them. So
That seems fair. And then Vern, who is the only crewmate you've opened up to since joining the crew?
I mean, I think it makes sense that that's Cass. That's probably the person I've interacted with the most.
Okay. I like it. Now, the ship itself is I'm actually going to put this to the navigator, this question. Why is this ship famous?
um that's a good question. Um I think that it has sailed into and back out of some particular whirlpool or some particularly treacherous place and come out changed. So it's like that was essentially what happened to it is it has like a sea gilding on it, which is almost like you know how the inside of a oyster shell is all kind of pearlescent and
Okay.
stuff. Like the front of the ship has that sort of pearly sort of coating on it or like on it, and that was what it earned from that
And I, I
place.
I assume that that's why it was sitting empty with just you on it, is that it came back from the Great Whirlpool, but the crew did not.
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
I only told the truth, so it was fine. But that was
Okay.
so
Uh, Captain, name someone or something that wants this ship destroyed.
Um, oh, I think the Iron Fleet, the Royal Navy.
Okay. It is a symbol of everything out of the control. Once it destroyed, you no longer have the protection of the pirate lords. So to have such a thing of power out in amongst the truly free is not good. Uh, so uh, let me ask Nonius and Cass. This is kind of general. We know how our captain came to the ship. We know how our navigator came to the ship. Uh, Nonius, uh, Nonius, Nonius, Nonius.
no,
No,
yes.
yes.
No, Neas.
No, yes.
No, Neas.
Yeah.
How did you come to be aboard this crew?
Um, I sorry, I'm just checking playbook things.
Sure.
Oh God, there's so many tabs. What am I even doing?
So many tabs.
Just as a thought or question to go on that, did we know each other before we came to this ship?
I don't know. When did you come to this ship?
Well, I
Not too
mean,
long
I
ago.
found, yeah, and
Found it empty, floating in the sea with only a navigator here.
almost empty.
Did you join soon after that, or were you here when the captain had to escape from his former fleet, Nonius?
Mm, I think soon after he found the ship.
Okay,
There was I think there was an encounter another ship that you were in a fight with, plundering something. But when you got on it, Nonius was there not as a part of it. He had come to the ship specifically to kill someone on it,
nice.
and then got stuck there because it's the ocean.
Vern, how did you come to be part of this crew?
Um, I almost wonder if I was the person that Nonius was trying to kill.
Okay,
uh,
I'm
I
into
think
that.
I think I was like shipwrecked and stranded, and was picked up by Cass, uh, who was like alone on this ship as the only person. And like I don't necessarily know a whole lot about sailing, but another pair of hands were at least somewhat useful.
Yes.
I like it.
And then and then Nonius showed up. Um, I don't know how I would have convinced Nonius not to kill me, but maybe there's
Um,
some.
Maybe you're where I got the book of very dangerous poetry.
Oh, I like that.
Yes, there we go.
Uh,
I gave
You
you a book of
started
very dangerous poetry to not kill me.
you read the
yes.
dangerous poetry to me, and when I, came back to myself.
Yes.
I like it. Captain, what great treasure is rumored to have been buried by its former captain, but before it went into the great whirlpool?
Ooh, great treasure. Um, um, the eighth piece of eight.
Oh, yeah. Had to happen. Had to be.
We have the seven lords, but there was the eighth piece of eight.
Excellent. Uh, our navigator, Cass, uh, well, I'll let you suggest the name for the ship and then we'll poll the table. There are some examples there.
Oh, there are. Where are they? At the ship?
They, it says ship's name is, and they have the Thousand Dragon, the Jolly Roger, the Star, something else.
Ah, I think Star Seeker.
What do you all think, Captain?
I think that's lovely. I was thinking, since you're having the figurehead being so strong with it, do you want it maybe to be relevant, like the maid or the something that
No.
goes with that as a thought? But I think Starseeker's a lovely name.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, I think that's what the two of us named it, if that makes any sense.
Lovely.
Okay. So this ship has an oddity. I'm going to tell you
Mhm.
about the oddities you get to pick from. Okay. The first one is lineage. This feature is taken from a long lineage of ships. It can be rainbow wood, brass dragon-headed prow, fallen star embedded in it. And if you find the skeleton or captain of your previous ship in your lineage, you take history. Uh, or voice. This fabled pirate ship is a prophecies. Its voice comes from, and you make a choice. And when you listen to the ship's voice, you can spend a bond to decide what the prophecy is about. Or ghosts. This ship is haunted with all the pirates who once served upon it. Now your souls are bound to it too. Spend a bond with your
Ooh,
ship to summon a size 3 spectral horde that kills indiscriminately for a few minutes, sparing only the crew. The ghosts are fathomless and voiceless until you learn what strange courage, curse or act of pirate's greed caused the ship to become this way. And when you finally do, you take history, which is a way to advance your ship. Um, Thoughts on those or questions about what they have with them?
having the piece of star in the ship is kind of
Yeah,
interesting.
I like lineage or voice. I don't know if I want ghosts, but Patrick, you like ghosts, so I'm not going to just rule it out.
I like
Um,
Ghost. I also like Star.
I like story. Yeah.
Okay. Are you good with that, Ethan? Okay, so I will adjust that text. Basically, there is a fallen star embedded deep in the belly of the ship. It shines in the presence of danger. You can unleash its power. That's a move to have it show you the way forward or through a difficult circumstance. So that's kind of an additional move that you have there.
And
Um,
hey, this one has us looking for the skeleton of the dead captain, so I
yeah,
still get my things
you
in.
still get your thing. You still get your
Yeah,
undead shit. Yeah. Uh, and you will advance. There's some ways to advance the ship. There's uh, uh, got legacy, which you start play with 5 hold. This hold represents a ship's legacy and respect. You can spend when you spend time in port, you can spend 1 hold to pick 1 boon from testing renown and take it immediately, which is a special move.
That's
Uh,
nice.
so we've got that set up there.
So this legacy is more about that star than it is the ship itself, kind
Well,
of.
it's telling us what the oddity of the ship is.
I'm just talking about that oddity is the lineage. This ship's special feature comes from a long lineage of ships rather than one ship through history.
Yeah, well, we've established that the star gets passed on. So this particular star may have been at the heart of other ships before this.
Neat.
Mm.
All right. So,
We need to do its kit.
oh yeah, I forgot that we could pick a kit for it. Where is it? Okay, select a kit. Okay, so kit. So the first kit is uh, a small, sleek ship, elegant lateen sails, which gives you +1 to navigate new or dangerous waters, a size 2 group of lackeys, tarnished filigree carved in the shape of dragons. There's a huge transparent crystal embedded in the ship's wheel, and you get 2 cannon batteries. That's the first pick. The second pick, a beautiful fancy ship, rippling sails stitched with gold, pitch black, or immaculate white. And against all these descriptions, we can change. A painted mermaid is a figurehead with jewels for her eyes, 1 treasure. A quarter galley lined with lapis lazuli or pearl innate skulls. A size 5 group of lackeys, a lifeboat, and 2 cannon batteries. And lastly, a powerful old ship with huge battened sails, dark crimson or seafoam pale, a brig with room for up to 6 prisoners, a prominent sharp beakhead fashioned into a gaping tooth maul or capped with acid-edged gold, size 6 group of lackeys, dark armored hull, and 1 cannon battery.
I feel like our mermaid figurehead is right there.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Beautiful fancy ship, a quarter galley, Size 5 group of lackeys, which is substantial. And 2 cannon batteries is nothing to sneeze at.
Mhm.
So that is good. So we will go with that one. All right. So we have some map making to do. This is a
Yes.
very different process. This is a very different thing. I don't want to start it as we're almost edging on 11 o'clock here. So we are going to start with that next time. Take a look at your kit and the things that you have and see what things you're going to have to pick. Everybody's also going to add a location and tell us something about it, like a town or port or something small. We've got little islands that you can drop on there. And then, in addition to the other weirdnesses, you can also put another weirdness on the map. Now, if we look at the map, and if you go to the safety enroller here for the Sea of Falling Stars, uh, we have Tang Cho and Asdara and Nartessos at the corners. Uh, by the way, the background image is centered horizontally and vertically. So if you accidentally drag it while you're putting something, you can go click on the image and have it and tell it to recenter, and it will recenter back up to this. So
Nice.
it is set that way. Uh, so Nartessos is the center of law. It is the port that the viceroys operate out of. It is the where the sharks are at. Um, Asdara is a town that is a gateway to kind of a plateau, dry, sort of more sort of Southwest U.S. kind of El Dorado land where there are mines and things like that. And then Tang Chao up in the west, uh, inward lands of that. These are both larger, almost subcontinental land masses. Uh, is jungles. Um, so, Ethan, uh, which one of these two, Asdara or Tang Chao, is is a center for the weird?
Okay, I'm sorry, I spaced out there. Which is which?
So, Tang Chao is the jungle city up in the northwest.
Okay.
Asdara is the mining city in the northeast.
Um, I mean it immediately makes sense to me to have like the jungle city be the weird one. So I'm
Okay.
gonna say the mining city.
Okay. So the mining
Oh,
city is the weird one, and Tang Chao is the city of the free. I think it makes sense that the pirate lords are the ones that operate they have the we'll say that all of the free we'll find them in Tang Chao, but it is like a big city for the pirate lords. But we may also establish some cities that are important to the free out here on the map as well, because everybody's going to have to establish another place. And as Dara, Patrick, what faction of the weird do you think kind of has as Dara as its home? Is it the storm chasers? Is it the werewolves? Or is it the witches?
hmm. Sort of like the Storm Chasers. It talks
Okay,
about the jade and the silver and the elements that are in their ships.
absolutely. So we've they they come back to their shadow hangs over that place. But we're going to get other places. Also, obviously, this map is not going to be to scale, so we're going to have lots of weird things out here. But I'm imagining that it is a far trip from one, like from Nartessos to Asdara is a couple of weeks journey at least. Depending on the tides and the winds and things like that. There might be islands in between all of this. We will get those on there. And again, we've got those various symbols and things for us to establish. But we'll get that set next time, and we'll make some random rolls to determine like where we start Oh, what's coming up? What's on the horizon? I will be using the various oracles that are in the Sundered Isles to say, ooh, look at what's happening here. Or we'll also generate some stuff about islands and things like that to finish the colors on things. So that's where we're going to stop. I'm very excited to see where this goes. And I am going to stop the recording.